I'm Brad Cooper and welcome to another edition of Choice Cuts. Well, first up this week, BJD infection bites in Central Queensland. Authorities are playing down the risks posed to human and animal health and any potential commercial damage as a result of finding bovine Johne's disease, otherwise known as BJD, in a cattle herd at Johne in Central Queensland near Rockhampton. The source of the detection, a major Central Queensland Brahman stud, sends bulls all over northern Australia each year, which means a nervous wait for commercial cattle producers who may be unwittingly swept up in the outbreak. BJD is a serious disease of cattle and other ruminant species which causes chronic diarrhoea or ill thrift in older stock, leading to emaciation and eventually death. While there is no effective treatment for the disease, it has a very low prevalence in Queensland as a result of stringent control measures. Rabobank has released a report this week which says box beef exporters are facing several hurdles and opportunities in its traditional markets of Japan, the US and Korea in the near future. A strong Australian dollar, which combined with an aggressive US marketing campaign into Japan, is continuing to see US product displace Australian beef in its key market. In addition, Korea's surplus of domestically produced hand-wound beef has reduced imports from all countries. In more positive news though, the report's author Sarah Sivia says the US is facing tighter supply and rising beef prices as a result of its worst drought in 50 years. Looking forward, Ms. Sivia says the issue of increased domestic inventory in Korea is cyclical and should begin to subside in 2013, while exports to Japan will remain strongly tied to currency movements. And now I'd like to introduce you to a new segment, My Beef of the Week. And the most obvious target is Meat-Free Mondays. Overseas craziness has come to our shores with the launch of this ridiculous concept. Its supporters say the aim is to get Australians to eat less meat, although lobby group Do Something, with an exclamation mark, denies it's anti-farmer or an anti-meat campaign. Rather, they say, it's a campaign to encourage a more balanced diet and, you guessed it, save the planet. That's because livestock industries are responsible for about 10% of Australia's total greenhouse emissions, they say. And the world's beef producers are going to have to get a whole lot more energy efficient if they are going to increase production for a growing population in the future. Now, how production gains can be improved by telling consumers not to eat meat is anyone's guess. For the record, and something you can assure the Do Something crowd won't be telling their hoodwinked supporters, is that since 1990, emissions from producing beef in Australia have decreased by 6.5% a kilogram. They are also conveniently ignoring research released in 2011 by CSIRO, which found that the amount of methane emitted from cattle fed on tropical grasses in northern Australia is up to 30% less than the figures currently used to calculate the northern cattle industry's contribution to Australia's greenhouse gas accounts. Now, if this methodology is endorsed by the National Greenhouse Gas Inventory, then that 10% quoted by Do Something will be reduced. The National Greenhouse Gas Inventory is based on the current international Kyoto Protocol carbon accounting system that also doesn't fully account for the capacity of trees, grass and soil to store carbon as part of the carbon trade. But let's get back to Meat-Free Mondays. Twitter has gone mad on the issue, and I liked many of the tweets coming through this week, particularly the one which suggested bottled water-free Tuesday as a more genuine way to help the environment than attacking beef producers. And while we shouldn't expect anything more, there have also been some unhelpful comments from WWF's Ian McConnell, who gave the Meat-Free Monday concept something of a backhanded compliment, telling ABC Radio that it helped to underscore the need for good beef producers to promote their environmental credentials.